Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Courtney and I've been a reseller on Poshmark since 2018, and this is going to be part 4 of my Death Pile haul series. So if you're just now joining me for the first time, this series is basically just me going through what's left of my death pile after selling most of it to Harry Tornado, a YouTuber and reseller. And what is left are basically just the items that I either paid up for or were a little bit higher end that I kept back from that deal. And we're going through bin by bin. I'm hauling all of the items and then I'm hanging them up on my rack and getting them listed. My goal is to have no more than 10 items in my death pile at the end of this series. So thank you guys in advance for helping me with that. So we're just gonna go through this bin that I have here today and we'll get started with this piece. I don't have any idea what's in this bin. I haven't gone through it in a while. Some of the items I may have never looked up, never heard of, so we will learn together as I post comps on the screen here, whether it is a good item or not. I can already tell you the first item is great. The brand is Brunello Cucinelli. I assume that's how you pronounce that. This, style-wise, it's not like the best thing in the world. It's just a pair of like career slacks. I'd say it's like a dark gray brownish color, but it looks like they're in excellent condition. It looks almost like, I don't know if you guys will be able to see this on camera, but it's almost like either flawed and faded or it's made to be like an ombre, because it almost looks intentional. Like it looks like it goes from a darker gray up top into like a lighter brown down bottom. But I'll have to do some research to see if that is manufactured or if it's a flaw. It looks like these say, of course, made in Italy, USA size 6. And it looks like the fabric content is 94% virgin wool, 5% cashmere, and 1% spandex. So that's a pretty good piece to start off on. It looks like I did thrift it. I thrifted it back in April of 2022, and it looks like I paid $6.24 for these. So not too bad for piece number 1. Let's see. Up next, we've got a brand that I've sold a couple times before, but I've never sold this line of it. The brand is the Couples, and it looks like this is their sport line. This appears to be a men's piece, and it's a fitted style. It's got like a weird, it's not like a regular collar. It's almost like a mock collar. It looks like there's a little logo there. Never seen that before, but it is just a gray. Anyways, this appears to be in excellent condition, minus the wrinkles. Obviously, I'll take care of that when I steam it before I list it. But yeah, it's a good size. I think it said extra large. Anyways, we'll see how that'll do. See what the comps are showing. This is a pair. In one of my recent hauls, I went over this brand, and I think I talked about this specific style as well. Brand is Revice. Looks like these are a size 27, but I think I told you guys about one of their most famous or like trending styles was this pair that has like a big star on the butt. Unfortunately, like I said in that last video, these are pretty saturated on Poshmark and on the resale market right now. So again, like in my last haul video, if I would have listed these after I got them, probably could have made, I don't know, somewhere around $50 for them, give or take a few. Now, my guess is if I want to sell them quickly, I'll have to list them closer to like 30 or something like that. I will list the comps on the screen, but the good news is these are like a flare. Oh, Lord, we got a flaw. I'm going to have to wash these. That does look like it's on the surface. And I use, for stains, I learned about this spray. It's called Messy Eaters something. I'll put a screenshot of it here. It actually is the same company that makes like the red wine stain remover. It's all the same solution. It's just different branding to appeal to different groups of people. But I learned about the Messy Eater one off of I think Daryl and Dinner. She's an influencer on Instagram, and she has kids, and they always get like raspberries and things like that on their clothing, and she uses that spray and it comes right out. And I purchased it and have tried it multiple times, and I'd say 9 out of 10 times it gets to stain out. So I'll use that on these. I expect it to come out. It doesn't look like it's, you know, a set stain that's going to stay there forever. So once I get those out, the good news is that these are, what I was saying before is that these are a flare, like a bootleg. And those are way more in style than the skinnies. So hopefully that'll carry it for us. Oh, let's see. This is, I'm gonna have to take this tag off so you can see the tag. I don't know what this brand is. My guess is I must have looked it up when I purchased it because it's not even vaguely familiar to me. Let's see. Antonio Berardi, made in Italy. So unless I got this for like super cheap and I just had a gut feeling and purchased it without researching comps, my guess is I've looked this up previously and at the time it was doing well. So it's just like a little like designer style blazer. Like this is really unique that it's got, what is it called when there's multiple fabrics? I can't remember. If I think of it, I'll put it on the screen. There's a word for that though. This does appear to be in good condition with the exception of a couple minor snags. I'll see if I can reverse those into the interior. There's a, I think it's McThrifty that posted about these little tools. Let me see if I can find one. I don't know what they're called, so I'll have to look that up and put it on the screen, but they're these little tiny like sewing tools, and it's got this little like needle point. It's not a needle technically, but it is pretty sharp, and you probably can't see it, but it has like a little hook on the end of it. I want to say maybe it's called a needle threader, but anyways, if you stick this through the fabric underneath where the pull is, so if you stick it in from the back side, it'll poke out and you can hook the little string, the little pull, and pull it back through the fabric so that it's sticking inside instead of outside. So technically the pull will still be there, but it won't be like a string flopping around on the outside, so it looks a little bit better. I don't recommend cutting these because if you cut these, it can create a hole in the fabric. I'm absolutely guilty of doing that before I heard somebody else talk about, you know, the fact that it creates a hole. So I don't cut them anymore. I do try to pull them through onto the inside. That usually works pretty well. So anyways, we'll look this up and see what comps are. The interior tag looks pretty expensive. It's just rayon, acetane, and elastane. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll learn together whether that's a good pickup or not. I love this piece, and I vaguely remember this MoMA brand comping well. I think I found it like 2 or 3 times. I don't know that I've actually listed any of the pieces. I think they may have all been in my death pile, but this is a super cute piece. It's got like this sheer fabric up top, and then this like lace floral detail. It is a peplum, and then underneath it's got a vibrant floral pattern. It's just like a layer of floral underneath it. So hopefully this is still selling well. It is in, I assume this is European sizing. It says size 36, so I'll have to do some converting when I list it. There is a side zip. If I'm able to find it quickly, I'll put what that converts to in US sizing on the screen here. But yeah, that's super cute. Even if the brand isn't selling super well right now, I do think that style will sell well on its own. So we'll see how that does. Got another pair of just like slacks here. Unfortunately, these are in a gaucho style. And if you watched my most recent what sold video, I found a new Tags pair of Veronica Beard jeans. And they were perfect condition, really cute, but the style was a gaucho style and they only sold for $33. So, you know, gaucho I don't think is a top selling style because the Veronica Beard brand typically does fairly well. I mean, the denim doesn't do as well as like a midi dress or maxi dress or a blaze, like the blazers is what they're known for. But I definitely expected them to sell for more than $33. So the only thing I can think is that the style is what held it back. So hopefully we won't run into the same issue with these because these are a gaucho style, but the brand is Hache, H-A-C-H-E. These are also in some other sizing. I don't know if it's European or what. I'll do some research and see if I can put that on the screen here. But this is just a brand, a style of like work slacks. There are a couple holes in the back, so I'll have to list those as flaws. Fortunately, they're at the top, so as long as somebody's wearing like anything longer than a crop top, that should be covered. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how these do. These are probably not, I have a gut feeling that these aren't gonna do very well. So if I do research and I find that something's gonna sell for less than $20, I honestly will probably just donate it. I'm worried that if I'm not motivated to sell it, if it's super flawed or if it's really only gonna sell for $10 or less, like I just don't have motivation to put my time into it. So, you know, I'm at the point where I'm trying to move forward and not create the same issues that I've had in the past with acquiring items and creating a massive death pile. So if that means I need to take a small loss by donating something that I thrifted, then that's what I'm gonna do. All right, moving on. Up next, what do we have here? All right, this brand I don't recognize, so we'll find out together if it sells well or not. New, N-E-U-W. It says, underneath it, it says New Lands Trot. I don't think that's in English. So we'll do some research on this. It is a maxi dress, which is good. That means it's a substantial piece, and I did thrift it. It has an open cutout in the back. It does have that, I always want to call this tie-dye, but somebody commented on one of my Poshmark listings that had this pattern, and they asked something. They were like, isn't this something not tie-dye? And I had never heard of it before, and I was like, not sure, you know, what do you think? And she never commented back. So I'll do a little bit of research to see if I can figure out what the name of this is. If I can't figure it out, I'm just going to list it as tie-dye because I don't think it's far from actual tie-dye. And I feel like people that are looking for tie-dye would also be interested in this because it's a similar vibe. So anyways, not sure how this brand does, how this piece will do, but I'll do some research and see if I can put that on the screen for you guys. All right, up next, we've got a Wilfred piece, and I showed this brand in my very first YouTube video. It was just a thrift haul. This is a piece, a brand that sold at Aritzia. Unfortunately, this is not a super substantial piece, and it's tiny. It's a size 2, but you know, it is a nice basic. Somebody could wear this. I think if you're petite, it would be long enough to wear into the office, you know, and the likelihood of somebody that's a size 2, so being petite, is up there. So, you know, maybe that will help sell it, but it's got this really pretty pleating. I don't know if that has like a specific name for it or if you can just call it pleating, but I just call it pleating and it's worked for me in the past. So it's got it on the back as well. It's kind of got this like, it's almost like a heathered pattern to it. So anyways, I don't expect that to go for a ton, maybe around $30, but I'll do some research and put comps on the screen. Oh, this was a fun find. This is the first time I remember finding this and geeking out. This is Gani, however you say that. I know they sell this brand at like Saks, Nordstrom occasionally carries it, but I thrifted this one, and it's this like textured, it's almost like, it's definitely not waffle knit, but it's got like a similar vibe to waffle knit. It's just a basic black, just a fuzzy basic black like shift dress. It's very stretchy, like super stretchy. It's got to have a lot of spandex or elastane in it. It's got a zip back, so because this is so basic, I doubt it'll, you know, do crazy well. I purchased a Gani piece, a new Tags Gani piece from Saks off 5th, which is like the Saks version of Nordstrom Rack, where they like discount things down. And I remember getting really excited to find it. It was new tags. It was maybe like $15 or $20 that I paid for it. and that was probably a year ago and it still hasn't sold. So, you know, obviously I'm not as excited about that piece that I just showed you guys as I was when I purchased it, which was before I listed the piece from Saks Off Fifth. But you know, it is a higher end brand. I will list it and hopefully get maybe $40, $50 for it, if I'm lucky. So we'll see how that does. All right, I'm not familiar with this brand either, so I must have either purchased it off of a gut check or looked it up when I was in the store. But the brand is Goin J. When I first saw this in the bin, I would just like glance past it and I thought it was Doen, and I was like, I don't remember finding Doen. If you don't know, Doen is an incredibly big bolo. They're super rare to find. I've never found it in the wild, which is why I was like, I don't remember finding that, but it is Goin, not Doen. So I'll have to look that up and see what it's all about. It's just another basic black dress. It's got a little flutter like peplum bottom. Would be a good career piece. It does have some interesting sleeves, some nice details there. So I don't know, it feels like cotton or something basic like that. So I'll look that up and see what we're looking at. Wouldn't that be a nice surprise if it was like a $300 sale? I don't think that's gonna happen, but would be nice. A girl can dream, right? So this one, I've seen mixed reviews on this. So I've seen some people say that it's a bolo and that it sells for like $50 to $75, and I've seen some people say that it sells like Princess Polly, like around 20 or 25. So I picked this one up. I don't remember where, but it is new with tags, and I vaguely, oh, there it is, Uptown Cheapskate. So it looks like I paid $14.99 for this. So the brand is Hello Molly. It's one of those I want to say it's made in Australia, but it's a US size 4. This would be really cute for like a bride, what are those called? Bachelorette trips, or if they have like a more casual, like bridal shower, or even a reception dress. If they want to go for like a fun look, it's got like an off the shoulder, like flutter ruffle sleeve, zip in back. And it's got like a nude piece of fabric underneath it, so it'll give that illusion. So yeah, I mean, that's super cute. I don't know how much that's going to bring. I'll do some research and put it on the screen, but we'll see. I don't remember where I found this, but I think I was just intrigued by this tag. It felt and looked expensive. It could be like an Amazon brand for all I know, but I'll do some research. MSGM. You know, this tag is a little sketchy. It's got quite a bit of like Chinese or some sort of Asian language on it. So yeah, I'm thinking gut is telling me this is not great. But I didn't want to get rid of it without doing, you know, proper research to make sure it wasn't like a gem. But it is just like a pleated, like schoolgirl, dark academia style skirt. Let me see. Yeah, it is a skirt. It's not a skirt, but it is actually a wrap, like a true wrap. It's got on the inside, there's a button to hold the other flap in, and the back is just solid, plain. It is like a, what is that, houndstooth? It's like a micro houndstooth. I think that's what that is. So we'll look into that and see if that brand is something substantial. I'm gonna have to do a lot of research because the interior tag is the sketchy part to me. Like it just seems off. It doesn't seem like a luxury brand interior tag. Honestly, 8 times out of 10, when I found things out in the wild, like at the thrift or the buy sell trade store that I got excited about, if they were inauthentic, if they were counterfeit, I 8 times out of 10 knew that because of the interior tag. Higher end brands are going to have typically a nice or a thick interior tag that feels nice. It's not paper. There's not a bunch of, you know, Chinese like language writing on it. They'll typically have the brand name on the tag itself. So yeah, those are all things that I look for on an interior tag of a designer piece. If I can find a picture of an actual designer item that has like a nice tag like that, I'll put it up on the screen. But interior tag can be a telltale sign if something is counterfeit. And there is unfortunately, you know, those terrible people out there that do label swapping. So they'll take like a lower end brand piece like of apparel and they'll take a higher end brand tag off of the authentic piece of clothing from that brand, and they'll sew the label from the designer piece into the lower end like piece of clothing so that it looks like it's a designer brand piece. But like I know somebody recently, I can't remember who it was, but a reseller that I follow on Instagram had a, oh gosh, what was the designers? There was some designer that they thought that they had picked up, Emilio Pucci maybe, that makes like really colorful, like vibrant pieces. And the piece that the label was in was vibrant and it was colorful and it was like detailed and intricate, but when they couldn't find anything about that specific piece in that brand. So they did a Google Lens image search and it turned out that it was like some like brand they sell at Macy's or something. It was not higher end. So it was a case of a label swapper, which is just not cool. Like, I don't know. I just don't understand people. So anyways, moving on. This is a brand that I love to sell. It is hard to see because they do the stitching for the brand name the same color as the actual tag, but it's CP Shades. And this is what I would consider a lag and look brand. They do a lot of like oversized, loose fitting, like flowy, abstract, artsy looking pieces. So this is a very boxy, semi-cropped, striped button down. My guess is it's probably linen because they do a lot of linen pieces. Yeah, 100% linen. So here's an example. Like this isn't, I wouldn't call this designer, high-end designer, but it is a more expensive piece. And on the interior tag, if I can get it to work, they have their brand name on the tag itself. So that is just one indicator of a higher end piece. So, but yeah, CP Shades sells really well for me. I have a bucket list of brands that I really want to find one day. And at the very top of that list is a brand called Magnolia Pearl. You may have heard of it. If you haven't, it's just, honestly, it's like, I heard somebody call it homeless chic the other day, or homeless core, which is wild to me. And, you know, it's problematic in many ways, but it's essentially, the brand is just like sloppy, like distressed. It literally looks like a piece of clothing that you got like out of the trash can that's 3 sizes too big. And they cost hundreds, maybe even up to thousands of dollars. So that is at the top of my list of things that I want to find. I have a feeling that a lot of times maybe the pieces that people donate in Magnolia Pearl don't actually make it out onto the racks of the thrift store because they probably look like they should go in the trash. But, you know, to each their own. It's just not my vibe. I don't really understand it, although it does look very comfortable. So, you know, that could be people's motivation to purchase it. But yeah, Magnolia Pearl, CP Shades. Another one that I like to sell a lot of that I'd consider lag and look is Bryn Walker. Her pieces do really well and they're typically like oversized. She does plus size as well. Eileen Fisher can kind of fit in there, but I'd say Eileen Fisher is kind of on like the border of the lag and look style. So anyways, moving on. You guys know I love to pick up a Goldie. These are a size 28. I have at least over 10 pair of these in my death pile, which is wild to me, but these are a black skinny, so not the best color, not the best style, but you know, hopefully these will bring somewhere between like 30 and 50. They are a decent size. Anywhere from like I'd say size 28 to 32 are my favorite like jeans sizes to sell. I feel like those are the most like average for Americans that I've seen, so, or at least they've sold the best for me. All right, let's see what else we got here. So this is a Lovers and Friends piece. It's a pretty good brand. I think they sell this on Revolve a lot. I've sold it quite a few times. The size on this one is a small, and it's a very tropical. I'm trying to figure out how it goes. I cannot figure this out. Okay, I think it's a one shoulder ruffle sleeve, but it is like the whole back is open. So I think that's why I was confused, because this is the only part that goes around your back other than the bottom area. There is some self-tanner staining on the inside, so I'll have to get that out or just disclose it. It doesn't affect the outside, but yeah, it's a completely open back. Like that is, it goes from the top ruffle area to here, where it's open. So this is cute. I'll, you know, use keywords like tropical, vacation, Hawaiian, beach, things like that to try to get it to sell quicker. All right, let's see what we got here. Well, we're starting out with no brand tags, so bought this for a reason. What that reason was, I don't know. I will say it feels extremely nice. So it looks like the interior tag says Urban Moo Moo. At first I thought it was Miu Miu, which is a high-end designer brand, M-I-U, but this doesn't have an I in it. It is Moo Moo, M-U-U, M-U-U. So I don't know what that is. The fabric content is great. It's 47.5% Sapima cotton, 47.5% micro modal. I don't think I've ever heard of micro modal, and 5% spandex. It is a one size fits most. It does have a style number. It's from 2016, so I'll have to do a lot of research on this. I don't know what, other than maybe the fabric content, motivated me to buy this, but it looks like a oversized tunic. Could be a dress, but the side pieces that have side slits like this typically end up being a tunic. So anyways, not sure what this is, but hopefully I'll be able to find something about it and put that on the screen for you. All right, up next, I feel like I've heard that this brand is great. Whistles. For some reason, my gut's telling me this is an Aritzia brand, but I could be completely wrong. I'll put it on the screen, but this is a fun novelty print. It's got a bunch of, I don't know, I guess I'll call these stars, but they kind of remind me of, like, you know, in cartoons where they like do a pop-up and it says like pow, bang. That's what it reminds me of. If those have a name, comment below and let me know so I can add that to my listing. But yeah, it's kind of got this like mixed, oh, that's that name from that blazer earlier that has two types of fabrics. It's mixed media, I think is what I meant. So this is just like a mixed fabric. It's kind of like the opposite of the body of the dress. So looks like it's a midi, maybe not quite a midi, right below the knee. So it's got a zip in the back. So yeah, I'll have to do some research on this one. No pockets, no belt. I don't think it had a belt originally, so it's not like missing a belt, so that's good. But yeah, we'll see about that. Oh, I forgot that I found this brand. This is exciting. So the brand is Nadam. And I know for a fact they sell this at Nordstrom because I just recently, when I went to clear the rack, found a couple pieces on sale. I didn't end up getting them because they were still marked up like $50 to $100. And the comps didn't justify that. So this is unfortunately an extra small, but fortunately it is 100% cashmere. This is another example, like I told you guys earlier, the more expensive brands will have their brand name on the interior tag. That's what I was talking about. So not sure what this will bring. The fact that it's 100% cashmere is a good sign. I assume that I looked this over well when I purchased it to make sure there were no holes, but I'll need to do that again because honestly, I don't even remember buying this. You know, there's your first sign that I had a shopping problem. I thrifted, which is great, and I only ever went to this thrift store on half off day, so that means I spent half of $7.69. So not the worst. Hopefully this will bring somewhere around 50, if not more. That would make me really happy. So let's see what else we got here. What is this? There we go. Oh yeah, I remember this one. So this is one of my favorite brands to sell, Farm Rio. I do think this is an older tag, but their pieces are so special that I don't think it being an older tag will hurt it. It is a mini dress. Obviously I prefer the more substantial pieces like maxi dresses and things like that, but the fact that this is a fun pattern, it's got butterflies on it, so I can consider it a novelty print. Can put that in the listing. There is a minor flaw on this one. It's open back. And the minor flaw is just this little stitching issue right here. So if I'm feeling, if I get a wild hair, maybe I'll try to fix that. If not, I'll just list it as is and disclose it. But, you know, in pretty good condition. It's got a little bit of wash wear. And wash wear is just like, if you can tell somebody's washed it a lot, and it can feel kind of like fuzzy when it's not supposed to. It's not like, sometimes it can be like represented as pilling, but when I say wash wear, it's like not quite pilling, because pilling is pretty easy to get off. Wash wear, you can't really get off with a sweater shaver. It's just kind of like how it is. Can't really fix it. Or if you can fix it and I don't know what I'm talking about, comment below, because I'd love to know. There's a lot of pieces that I've had to leave behind because of wash wear. So if there is some magic fix that I don't know about, I would love to know. Let's see. Got a handful of pieces left. So this brand, I actually forgot about this piece. I recently found this brand again in a mini dress and got it listed, and I think I listed high. I want to say somewhere around like $75 or $100. The brand is Veta. This one's a size medium. This is a super unique sweater. I guess it's like this is one of those, I can't figure out if it's a tunic or a dress. Could probably be either, depending on your height. It's got a turtleneck, but the turtleneck is removable. So there's buttons in here. You can just unbutton it and have like a cowl neck, not a cowl neck. What's it called? It's not a V-neck, crew neck. So yeah, this is just like an oatmeal color, like a tan with speckled, like black and gray mixed throughout. So yeah, I'm sure that'll do good, just based off of the dress that I just recently picked up and how well that did. I don't think it's actually sold yet, but the comps were really high, so that's promising. All right, I am not even gonna try to pronounce this and make a fool of myself. So this is the brand. It might be hard to read on the screen, so I'll type it out in like a text so that you know how it's spelled. But I've heard maybe Mackenzie over at McThrifty talk about this brand before and it being really good. So when I saw it, I picked it up. I've found a few pieces by this brand. This is another one of those, probably could be a tunic or a dress depending on your height, but it's floral. It feels brand new. I don't think it's ever been washed. And this is one of those, like, it has that where the original tag was on it. I still won't list it as new without tags because I don't know for sure, but I'll leave that on there anyways. But it really doesn't feel like it was worn or washed. So it's long sleeve, pattern just moves onto the back. So nothing like super substantial, but hoping to get quite a bit. Oh, I didn't notice, it's actually button down. And it goes all the way down. So we'll look up comps and see how that'll do. All right, these I remember finding, and they were such a good find. I thrifted them, and as you guys know, one of my favorite brands, Goldie, size 27. They were new with tags, and they're the 90s pinch waist high-rise straight, which is the perfect style for right now. I'm so glad that I'm getting these listed now and not waiting, because I don't think this style will be around forever. You know, I think people are actively looking for this style. So these should sell well. My guess is they'll probably sell for over $100. The fact that they're new with tags, they're a good size and a good style. And I only paid $8.24. So not the worst return in the world. All right. What do we have here? Got another Farm Rio piece. This one is a like open front cardigan. It's really airy. It's not like thick or anything, so it's definitely still like a spring summer piece. Would be great for transitional weather. Most of their pieces I feel like are known for being like vibrant colors, so this one is a little more muted. Obviously it's still beautiful, it's floral, it's got a busy pattern, but it's not like an in-your-face obnoxious, like in a good way obnoxious, like brightly colored piece. So yeah, we'll get that listed. It probably won't bring a ton. It's not super substantial. My guess is like 35 to 45 if I had to guess. This was a fun find. So this was from, was it ThredUp? I think it was a ThredUp box. Always happy to see this brand. I have sold it, I think once. I found a piece at a buy sell trade store for like 15 bucks, and I want to say it sold around 100. Comps on the screen. It was like a midi skirt, but this won't sell for nearly as close to that. It's very basic. It's just a ribbed tank top that has like a bow detail up here. It's going to take me a minute to steam that ribbon out because that is nice and smushed. But anyways, you know, it's one of those that I probably would have thrifted this if I found it, because tank tops are like $4.24 or something. But I don't expect it to bring more than like maybe 30 to 50 bucks, if that. I've never sold anything like that from the brand, so I'll have to do some comps to see. All right, here we go again with a Goldie. This is actually a skirt. Nope, I lied. It's shorts, and it has that crossover fly, which is really popular right now. Don't remember buying these, but apparently I did. I got them at Value Village, and they were half off of $3.69. So score for me. And I love that they're a longer length. I wonder if these, I think the style that I've sold from them quite a bit that's been really popular is Parker, I believe. It's like a longer cut, which is kind of in right now. So I'll have to do some research to see if this is that same style. But you know, the fact that it's a longer inseam and it's a button fly and it's like the crooked, like off center fly, these should do great. I think the last time I sold a pair of the Parker Goldie shorts, they were the blue denim, not the black, but I want to say they sold for like 75 pre-owned. So if I can find that, I'll put it up on the screen. These were fun. I remember thrifting these. They were $4.99. The brand is exciting. The style is not. So the brand is Love, is it Moschino? M-O-S-C-H-I-N-O? I'm not sure, could be wrong, but the size is US 8. The style's just underwhelming. These are giving me 2000s for sure. They're white, so they're like a basic and a neutral, so they'll probably still sell, but I just don't think they're the trendiest piece I've ever picked up. Or the trendiest piece that this brand makes. So they've got a little cuff on the bottom. They're in great shape. They need a lint roll. They've got some fuzzies on them, but no staining. So yeah, we'll get those listed and see what happens. All right, we got another pair of slacks here. This was one of those that I got excited about the brand and picked it up and didn't run comps like an idiot. So brand is Armani Collezioni. Probably butchered that, but just a pair of like tan slacks. This kind of piece in any of the higher end designer brands, like I found Burberry slacks. I found, what else have I found? I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I've probably found like 3 or 4 of these like higher end designer brands in slacks, and I've picked them all up and comps are garbage on them. So this was one of those. I doubt I'll get a lot. I mean, I'll run comps and maybe I'll be surprised, but I'm pretty sure I'll get maybe like $30 for these. So anyways, not the best. And the interior tag is cut out, which is not helpful, which means I'll have to go off measurements. There's no size tag. So let's see. Take this off so you can see the tag. So earlier in this video, I was talking about the brand CP Shades, and I mentioned a few other lag and look type brands, and one of them that I mentioned was Bryn Walker. That's what this is. So her size is usually hidden under there. This is an extra small, but again, it's lag and look, so it's oversized. Honestly, this would probably fit up to like a size medium if I had to guess. So this is what I meant, like super drapey, super oversized, just flowy. You could layer something over or under it. A lot of times they're made with linen. It's got that like asymmetrical hemline on the bottom. This should sell well. I want to say that most of the pieces by Bryn Walker that I've sold have sold for like around 50, and I find them fairly often at the thrift, so I'll take that any day. All right, let's see. So this brand retail is wild. I mean, like thousands of dollars for certain pieces, like substantial pieces. Resale, I wish it held its value because I found it a few times, but it does not. The brand is Acris Punto. The size is normally underneath the tag. So it's a US 6 for this piece. This is just a basic, I mean, it feels very nice, and you know, not to discount like the quality of it. It is a really nice sweater, but when you compare it to some of the other substantial pieces from this brand, like it's not that special. So I wish that this, you know, retained its retail value, resold for a lot more than it does, but this I don't expect to get more than like, I don't know, I think I'll be lucky if I get $40 for it. So hopefully I'm wrong and the comps maybe have gotten better since the last time I looked it up, but we'll see. Let's see what else we got here. Just a couple pieces left. What is this? Oh, fun. Don't remember getting this either. But I love this brand. I sell a lot of it for one of my consignment clients. This is the older tag. This is Reformation. Their mini dresses typically sell anywhere from, as long as they're in good condition, anywhere from like 50 to 80 for me. Maxi dresses, or like bridesmaids dresses or formal dresses typically sell for 100 plus. Obviously the more special pieces will go for more. So this is interesting. So it's kind of got, oh my gosh, I lied. This is a jumpsuit. It's not even a maxi dress. It is a wide leg jumpsuit. That's exciting. That makes it a little bit more of a special piece. The back is kind of like a T strap. Let's see if I can show you. And it's got lace on it. This feels like a bigger size. Like my guess is, let me see if I can find it so I can show you where the size is on these. Okay, so this must be oversized because the size is actually medium large, but it like looks and feels like an extra large. So my guess is this is made to be oversized to wear with like a bandeau or a little white like ribbed crop top or something. This is a lot of fabric, so I'll have to look it over closely to make sure there's no flaws, which is one of the reasons I know a lot of people don't like to steam for multiple reasons. One, it makes the item look better. Two, when I'm steaming it, I am going over every single inch of the piece. So if there is a flaw that I missed when I was shopping, I'm gonna find it when I'm steaming, 9 times out of 10. And then third reason is when you're listing, if something's wrinkled and there is a flaw, even if you photograph it, sometimes the wrinkling can be distracting and take away from the flaw itself. So if somebody opens a case after they purchase an item from you with a flaw, and they provide the photos that you provided and the item's all wrinkled and it's kind of like the flaw is camouflaged in with the wrinkles, Poshmark's likely to side with the other person. Unless you did a really good job of explaining it in your description and making it super obvious that it was there, or like pointing to it or something. It's just an extra measure that I take to make sure that, you know, nobody can open a bogus claim for return. So, all right, last piece. It's funny that I have this because I actually forgot that I had it, and I mentioned these in one of my recent death pile hauls. So the brand is I Am Gia, and in one of my previous hauls I mentioned that this brand, like one of their best-selling styles of the brand were their Sherpa jackets. So that's what this is. It's got some massive patch pockets on it. Always hoping for some money in these. Y'all, one time, side note, I bought a wallet for my husband. I was out sourcing and he needed a wallet, and there was a men's wallet in one of those like end cap baskets at Goodwill. So I bought him the wallet. He rode his current wallet out at the time a little bit longer, maybe like 4 months. We had put the wallet that I thrifted for him in a drawer in his bathroom. So finally his wallet that he was using like tore or whatever, so he needed to switch over to the new one. He went to put his new stuff in it, 3 $100 bills. $300 that were sitting in his bathroom for months. My mind was blown. When he was going to transfer it over, he pulled it out and stared at me, and I was like, where'd you get that? And he was like, it was in the wallet. So we split it 50-50. I kept half, he kept half, and we were able to use it for whatever we wanted. So I'm sure that I used it for more inventory because that's typically what I do, but that was fun. Like, I wish I could find money all day, every day, but anyways, so yeah, this one is a size small. I'll look up comps. Hopefully these are still doing decent. I know when I picked this up, they were doing good. And I don't know what good means. I don't remember like what they were selling for, but hopefully we'll make a good profit on that one. So, all right, I think we've got a couple more hauls for my death pile to do. So those will be coming out over the next couple of weeks. I am going to try to split them up and do what solds in between every couple. But if there's anything else, any other content that you guys want to see, let me know. I know I do want to do, like, gather all of my favorite tools and supplies and like softwares and applications that I use for my Poshmark business. I'm going to try to get a list together of those and do a video on that, because I have been doing this for long enough that I've done a lot of trial and error, and I've learned the hard way, like what works well, what doesn't work well, what's a waste of money, what isn't, etc. So I do feel like that would bring some value, especially to new resellers that are just starting out. So I'm gonna work on that. But if you guys can think of anything else you want to see from me, just let me know. Open to whatever related to reselling. So just comment below if you have any thoughts. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today and working through this death pile with me. I'm excited to get a lot of these things listed. It's honestly kind of like finding them, like you saw today for the first time. I forget that I have half of this stuff. It's just been sitting in my garage, which is wild. But anyways, we're again working towards the future, not repeating mistakes we've made in the past. So thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.